picture shit. This ain't a dream, we really live this shit. Don't intervene, yo, we with this shit. That's where the most high, we the most lit.
Hey, we are back.
Bogey did the countdown.
Last time on Silver Screen Breakdown.
Serge Palm was saying that. I think it was Rosario Dawson and Kids. Was it Rosario Dawson and Kids?
Rosie Dawson, young Rosie Dawson. He might be right.
Wasn't she the one in?
I haven't seen that movie since I was in high school, but the first time I watched that movie, I was in the 5th grade. That shit was crazy.
I never saw it.
Never saw it. We'll put that one on the list somewhere down the road.
Yeah, she's the one in Clerks 2. That's what she is. Yeah. There we go.
Hey, Rosario Dawson's bad.
I saw her in Sin City. Actually, I've met her. My friend
in there.
My friend here, she chefs for her, actually.
Oh, sweet.
She chefs for her father mostly, but I just skipped out of town last week.
Okay.
But I saw her in Sin City. Remember Sin City?
Fuck yeah, we have to review that.
And that's the only movie that I've seen her in.
Really fucking good.
Robert Rodriguez.
Briefly online.
Yeah, and what's his name? What's his name touched on it? You know what I'm saying? Tarantino, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He had a little co-directing type of shit.
Yeah, he directed. I think it was just the one scene, is what it was.
But last time
on
Silver Screen Breakdown,
our man Dale. We see him all over the city. He's delivering his subpoenas. He's visiting his 18-year-old girlfriend at high school. He's picking up weed from our man Saul. And then he witnesses Ted and a policewoman take out an Asian man, shot him dead right in front of Dale. And Dale was involved in a hit and run. And now we're here, where he goes right to Saul's house. He has no idea where he's going to go, and he goes right to Saul's house. Smart move, Bogey, or a dumb move?
I think it's smart because he needs to immediately, you go from being a customer to now you need to have like dealer level information. You know what I mean? Like, who is this fucking guy? You know what I mean? He rolls up to the house. He's so shook up. He yaks. You know what I mean? Just all over his printer.
Threw up on my printer. Did you break it?
And you know what's funny too is I bet you he got that printer. He probably got that printer for like $quarter a week. Like I got this printer. You know what? Yeah, that's my new printer, man. Throws up all the.
James Franco's got to be high as hell and just woke up from sleeping.
And it's so brilliant because I really feel like low key he gets money from these fast food joints because like he is in other movies. This is the end or whatever. Remember they're eating the Carl's Jr. is loving on the Carl's Jr. And in this one he references chicken fries from Burger King. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Oh, the chicken fries.
You know what I'm saying? But and look at this. So now, because he need to know everything he's got to get his gumshoe on. You got to reverse engineer this shit now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And with all the days of being a paranoid pothead, it paid off.
Oh, yeah. And Nelson, what do you think? Do you remember James Franco during this scene where Seth Rogen's going crazy?
Yeah.
What do you think of him, like, acting-wise? Because he changes a lot throughout this whole scene.
Well, at first, he wasn't believing him, right? And he was like, no, you're crazy. And then he convinced him to leave.
Yeah.
So it seemed believable to me because I thought, okay, he's not going to go.
But here's the thing, though, too.
It's not a big deal.
He made a fatal mistake because he called his guy. He called his plug. You know what I mean?
Well, that wasn't yet. Not yet.
Oh, that didn't happen right there? Okay.
No,
I don't think so. I don't think he called anybody there.
No, and here's pretty much what happened.
Oh yeah, you're right. Because he just convinces them enough to leave with him. That's right.
Yeah, because he wasn't going to leave at first. And because he convinced Seth Rogen's character, he says, no, because you covered your tracks. And they don't know. But then he told him threw the roach out there.
Everything.
And then they chased it back. And they said, okay, well, maybe you might be right. Okay,
but then it dawns on him.
Showed up right after.
But it dawns on him. You're the only guy that got it. Fucking, I threw
up
your
stuff. Let's go pack out what you need. We could get out.
Yeah. And he just packed up a bunch of weed for sale.
Weed, fruit roll-ups, get it all. Let's go. But James Franco, it was just a wide range of emotions just throughout that scene. Because first he's like tired and he's like, "What? What's going on?" And then he shot him. What? He was like, "What? A lady and a man? That's a massacre. What happened?" And he's just trying to put it all together. And then real quick, he's like, wait, they saw you when you came here? And then he like runs to the window and he's like, no. And then he like calms down again. He's like, wait. They didn't see where you went. And
yeah.
Yeah, he starts trying to like calm himself down in that sense. Like
he
the
does,
false lie. He's trying to be comforted by the lie. He's like, no, you know. And he's thinking way too rational. And that's the thing about when motherfuckers is high. Like my girl all the time, she'd be like, you're hella paranoid. But I'm just thinking like, I don't know. Hold on. You know, we pull up to the Target. Hold on, don't get out the car. You know what I'm saying? You gotta peep the scene real quick. You know what I mean? That's real shit. You know what I mean? Am I crazy?
I
don't know. I mean,
you're no crazier than.
See, I ran with some stick-up kids though too, and I've been robbed before, so I know. You know what I mean? I've been on both sides of that barrel, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've never been robbed before. Knock on wood, guys.
They get out of there like just as what's their name? What's his name? Something in Matheson. I forget their names, but it's Craig Anderson. And, Matheson and Budlowski. There we go. Matheson and Budlowski. They break into Franco's house. It looks like it's right after they leave. They don't find anything. They notice the throw up, and then they call Ted.
Yeah, it stinks in here.
That's weird.
They call Ted. And then at least we know who sent them at that point. And they're just like getting Franco and Seth Rogen, they're just getting the hell out of there. Like, why can't we just go to a hotel, motel, or Holiday Inn or something? Why can't we just go nowhere?
Hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. That's another tribute. Another tribute right there.
I mean, and you know what's dope about these, this is what I love about it. Like some of my favorite directors are Jewish. Like I do love Adam Sandler's directing and Seth Rogen's directing. They have a style, and a lot of times they're incorporating classic music from their upbringing. You know what I mean? You watch any of Adam Sandler movies, it's chock full of music. You know what I mean? Same thing with any of Seth Rogen's joints.
Yeah. So they just take off and they go to the woods, and they're getting some talking going on. And one of the things that they realize, it's the cops that are in on it. What if they can triangulate our phones?
Oh, yeah. Triangulate.
Like, what's crazy is that these two dumbass stoners are a stroke of genius. He's like, remember, he throws the phone, but he's like, wait, we gotta find it and smash it.
Yeah, what was it? They could triangulate, they could triangulate the phones or whatever. But Seth Rogen, he smashes his right on the rock. Like right there. Yes, let's do it. And what up, Peacock? Just saw Peacock in the house on the SSB channel. What up, Peacock? And James Franco winds up, and throws it, but misses the tree. He's like, oh, what are you doing? He was like, how often does someone throw things? I'm rusty. I was trying to hit that tree.
Yeah, you missed it.
He's like, maybe they can't even triangulate the phones. It's like, you were very convincing. Like, I trashed the whole phone. And so now they have no phone. And and then what? Actually, sorry, I forgot. We skipped the part. This is where Bogey said, didn't he call the dealer? They did call Red before they smashed the phones. They call Red while Budlowski and Matheson are there. And Red's just trying to get any kind of information out of Saul so they don't kill him. It's getting real.
Very real.
Yeah, real quick. And so
where's the SSB?
It's pretty much like heartfelt moments, like from these guys after that, after they break the phones. Yeah, James Franco's like, oh, I'm cold. And he was like, oh, you want to wear my jacket? And
oh yeah,
just out of nowhere.
BFF.
Yeah. They start. It's fun. Well, because to James Franco, they are friends. To Seth Rogen, they aren't. And it's just one of those weird, awkward, like subplots throughout the movie is their friendship. And the funny part in this is just out of nowhere. He's like, oh my gosh. Franco starts running and Seth Rogen has no idea what the hell's going on. Franco runs into a tree. Seth Rogen trips and hits his face on a rock. They go back to the car. And he's like, what was that? He's like, I saw something and then I heard something. And that was it. What do you think of them, of Seth Rogen turning on talk radio and forgetting to turn off the car.
I remember that intricacy.
So he turns on talk radio right when they go back to the car, and then they wake up 18 hours later or whatever they said, but the car's dead because he left the talk.
Oh yeah, they woke up in the morning. Something. I remember that. I do remember seeing the scene. But I can't remember the specifics of it.
And it wasn't in the morning. They woke up at 4:00 in the afternoon.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. I like I said, every now and then there's some scenes that don't stick.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but I don't remember what was the context of it.
He wakes up. They wake up, and he's like, "Man, what time is it?" And he's like, "Oh, it's 3:00." And he's like, "What? It's 3:00?" And he was like, "Oh, wait, it's daylight savings time." He's like, "Oh, okay, so it's only 2:00."
It's only
He's like, "Oh, wait, but then we went forward." He's like, "What? It's 4:00."
Well, I do remember that they were still on the run then during that scene, weren't they?
Oh yeah, they're pretty much on
okay.
the run this entire time, right?
Yeah.
And so they got to get to Red's house, and so that's pretty much where they start heading. And they, the car ceased to be alive, and James Franco just didn't understand the concept of the car dying. And so they try to hitchhike, and they end up getting a ride though, and they make it to Red's house. And then we get introduced to Red, Danny McBride in person. And yeah, one of the parts that I like, I'm just in here trying to get a motherfucking scholarship. Their hat nod to Breakfast Club. And we already know that Matheson and Budlowski had been there. And Danny McBride is pretty much going to turn these guys over at the first shot of anything. What, do you have any takeaways from that big scene?
No.
I do have the fight scene. And before we pull up the fight scene, one of the things that they wanted to show off was Danny McBride having herpes. And he was like, "What is that on your lip?" And he was like, "Oh, it's a cold sore." He was like, "I've never had one before," so I started to cry. And I was like, "Man," he's like, "That's herpes, huh?" He's like, "You know how many joints we've shared?" And Seth Rogen's trying to just ask him questions without asking him questions. And James Franco's being super "Oh yeah, he's a process server and he was outside of Ted's house." No. And Seth Rogen doesn't want him to tell anything because he's freaked out about Red. He thinks Red's going to dime him out. But James Franco thinks that Red's, his homie. And he said because of an experience where they went to a party, and he had a girl who he didn't even know give him a hand job. And that was one of the things that sparked his loyalty towards Red. But on a dime, Red turns on everybody, and a big old fight happens. And I got a little piece of that fight for us to check out.
Yeah, he still, has feelings for him, even in rough times of violence.
Yeah.
What's amazing? Okay, how many times have you seen this flick?
A bunch, a lot, dozens.
That's why, because I'm thinking, how do you guys I'm missing out on scenes. I'm like, man, these guys probably think I didn't watch it, but I'm starting to notice now that when you watch it once or even twice, it's hard to recall it until I see it. When I see the scene like that, it's okay, yeah, I saw the scene. But if you didn't show that, then I don't really remember the scene because there's so many scenes to process. And I have all these scenes and then talk about it as much as you've seen it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
This fight scene was intense. It was really intense. And I'm pretty sure that the guys were doing their stunts the whole time. And that was one of the things is they wanted to be involved in all these fight scenes and stuff and really make a dope action movie. And this was one of the things. This was one of those fight scenes that man, it was wild.
And once again, that scene was reminiscent of True Romance scene too. They even showed the toilet a couple times there. It's okay.
They even showed
the toilet a couple times because she ripped off the what's her character's name? Or not Roseanne Arquette. Arquette, what's her name?
Yeah, Patricia.
Patricia Arquette. So her character, she takes that and smashes him over the back of the head.
Yeah.
So that whole fight scene totally reminded me of the True Romance scene. So it wasn't not nearly as intense, but it was still quite dynamic though.
Yeah. And Peacock said, "Got to watch movies like this 3 times in a row. Instant classic for sure."
No kidding, Peacock. I feel that. You give me 6 hours to watch it back to back. Then I'll be able to talk about it intricately like you guys.
Classic scene. And so yeah, now Red is all jacked up, and it's funny. They like tie him up in what's it called, in a wheelchair. They got duct tape all over him. They're trying to figure out, get some answers out of him, finally. And he tells them, yeah, they know that you witnessed them. They found the joint and all that. And then Budlowski and Matheson show up, and so they take off. And he was like, I forgot bros before hoes, Red. And he's like, just go out the back, go out the back. And as soon as those guys come in, they just ran out the back. Dale Denton's all go, go, go. But they get away. They get away. Nothing happened after that, as far as like those guys running away. But right after Budlowski and Matheson, they called Ted, and they asked Red all the questions that Ted asked. And right at the end, they're like, all right, Dale Denton, not Asian. Okay, perfect. Okay, now kill Red. And they shoot him. They both take a shot. They both take a shot at him. And he's like, you guys shot me. I'm going to die now, probably. But Red, he just keeps taking a licking the entire movie. And, yeah, it's funny.
I thought he was done because they shot him in the stomach. And shooting him in the stomach was what? What was that from? That's from another movie, too. Shoot him in the stomach. And the line goes like this. What'd you do? The guy gets shot in the stomach. He says, hey, you can't kill a cop. That's the line.
Scarface.
Yes. See, there's some things I do know, man. You ask me certain questions I can answer.
There you go.
He kills that thing.
Yeah, man. There we go.
All right.
That is correct.
And so they shoot Red, and he's, I'm gonna die now from this, probably. And
Red, that shit on his lip, got some shit on his lip.
Yeah. And yeah, Peacock says that by the end of the movie, he's all fucked up for sure. He shouldn't have even been there at the end of the movie, but somehow he was.
Oh, we thought you lost it there.
So after they shoot Red, we catch up with Dale and Saul, and you see them just kind of running across town. And he's like, we got to go to Angie's house, man. We got to go to Angie's house. He goes in there, and he totally forgets about the dinner. And so he runs in the house, and he's like, whoa, shit. He's like, oh, dang, this is the dinner.
Oh, yeah, the dinner.
I'm supposed to be here. Yes, I'm supposed to be here. Dinner.
And then in comes James Franco, though. You feel me? That. And before that, too, they're like, yeah, you stink.
Yeah. And yeah, they're like, Dale, what's wrong? And he was like, oh, I was bird watching in the forest. And he's like, okay, I'm just going to come clean. I witnessed a murder. And we should call the police, the mom says. We can't call the police. They were the murderer. And the dad's like, man, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Get the fuck out.
He's really looking at, it's also too, looking at Amber Turner like, come on. Like, you know what I mean?
He's 25. She's 18. So they're already being open-minded enough, to meet him.
Yeah, but they're definitely at odds about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, no, she was 18 in real life back then.
Yeah,
at that time, was she?
She was like 20.
She was probably older than that.
Yeah, because
she's like 36 now. That was 2008, right? 12, 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe she was 21.
Yeah, she was born 86, same year as me. So yeah, she was older than 21. She was like 22. So the mom and the dad they're not liking what's going on, and the dad's like, "Are you fucking high?" And the mom's like, "You are high as a fucking kite." And he's like, "You know what? I'm going to my room to get my gun, and I'm coming back. I'm not fucking with you." The dad was fucking wild. He's
and the dad's because he's like, "Listen, man, there's about to be 2 murders, man."
And then they run into the kitchen, and then that's when James Franco comes in. He's like, "Oh, they're coming. This is now." And then Amber Heard grabs a fucking fork, stabs him right in the shoulder. Oh man, it goes all the way.
Yeah, that looked painful too. The fork.
Sure.
It takes a lot of force to stick a fork in there and draw blood.
For sure.
Yeah,
I don't know that from experience. I'm just saying from the scene itself.
Well, especially where she stabbed him, that's muscle and bone. She got right to it. You feel me? He's not James Franco. He's not the biggest guy. You know what I mean? She
was very swift in doing that somehow.
And the dad comes in with his rifle and just comes in and shoots like 2 or 3 shots off. and
You know,
doesn't hit
but-
anybody. But yeah, he's ready. And then you see Budlowski and Matheson outside, and he was like, "What's that?" That was a gunshot. And then they pull out their guns, ready to get in there. But they all go out the back. The Amber Turd and her family take off, and then James Franco and Seth Rogen run off.
And when they get in the crib, though, it's funny because this is like a run-on joke for what's the other guy? So there's
Craig. He's
Craig, and then the other.
Matheson.
Yeah, and it's for Matheson, right? You know, he just wants to go home and have dinner, man. You know what I mean?
Oh no, that's Budlowski. Go home.
Oh, Budlowski, yeah, he just wants to go home and have dinner, man. That's all he want to do, man. And so when he walks in and there's the dinner set up, he's like, still warm, but you know, what's his name is oddly like fingering the fucking couscous,
touching the food. He's like, it's still warm.
But you know what I'm saying? He's just like, that food was bad. He's like, man, I want to go home and have dinner. Just find these fools, kill them, go home.
And so
they're kind of like the cheap rental version of Pulp Fiction characters.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? They're just the two hitmen are out there, just like, let's just go kill them and go home. You know what I mean?
Big time. Yeah.
Do you think those guys were an ode to a hat tip to anybody? Nelson specific?
Sorry?
The two goons, you think they were based on anybody in particular?
Oh, no, I think you said that earlier. I agree. Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, it's definitely because they're hitmen and you got the black guy and the white guy, but it is like like the knockoff version because they're not all suited and booted. These dudes wearing.
Yeah, it did remind me of someone else though. I couldn't put my
He was
finger
wearing
on
British Nikes, bro. Remember BKs?
Yeah,
he couldn't wear BKs and be a blood out though, bro. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm from and shit.
Yeah, it was funny because Red brings it up. He's like, "Man, I had y'all over here for fish tacos. Y'all gonna do me like this?" And he's like, bringing mud all into my house. And he's like, Matheson, I hear you wearing British Knights. I ain't seen the people wear those. It's like early 90s.
You know what? Yeah, Alex, I will say this: the dynamic between the dialogue between the two is very similar to how they do Hollywood movies with cops, though. I'll say that. Like you got 48 Hours. Then you got Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, because you got like
Stakeout, I think, even with Emilio Estevez, like a lot of the dialogue was kind of, even those guys who were criminals, I thought about that too.
Yeah, where
they talk like they were partners in the cops.
Yeah.
And instead of like good cop, bad cop, it's like, bad killer, worst killer. And like you could tell they've had some type of history together. They've been killing together for a while because you know what I mean? He's just like, because bro, you getting soft on me, bro?
Yeah, because I will say this dialogue between the two is like the cops, like let's say Danny Glover and Mel Gibson, but the image was Pulp Fiction.
One
the dialogue between Travolta and Samuel Jackson was not like that. It wasn't like that, but the image, they had the same image, but the dialogue was more like the cops that you see in movies.
And it's like, and you do have the similarities as far as one of the guys has a family, and the other guy don't. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He just he's about the action. Like, listen, man, fuck that. You ain't going, no dinner for you.
Yeah, what did he say? Yeah, you didn't used to need discretion. Well, you did something. I seen it. I can't remember what he said.
He's like, I see you rip a man's jaw off with your bare hands.
Yeah. And that was definitely a hat tip to
Toro's always, I see you tear a man's jaw with your bare hands.
I know. That's funny, man. It's funny.
It's funny. Peacock said British Knights are making a comeback. I saw a release. Derek said I had some BKs when I was younger. I was like 5. Peacock said I rocked at least 3 pairs throughout elementary school. All 90s shit, right?
Mm-hmm. I had a pair of BKs, but then, you know what I'm saying? My cousin's like, you can't wear that shit, blood.
Derek Lincoln.
Oh shit! Yeah, you can't wear the blood.
By the way, Derek's coming out to Vegas, right?
Yeah, hell yeah!
I get to meet Derek for the first time.
Right, we're all gonna
right. Down with the DL.
See, when I see Derek, I'm gonna hit him with one of these. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm still mad. I'm still mad you beat me in Jeopardy.
Oh man.
Nah, I'm gonna give a finger in this fucking kid. That's how it's gonna be.
So now we get a little throwback to Ted and Rosie Perez, and they call the whoever's the leader of the Asian mafia is what I assume. And it's funny because two of the Asian henchmen, Ken Jeong and Bobby Lee, it's just super funny how they're like the IT, security team for them, and they're a big part of their crew. And
shout out to Bobby Lee. I fucking love Bobby Lee.
Hell yeah. And
Product of San Diego.
Hell yeah. And so fucking Ted starts going off on, oh, we're bringing everything we got at you, and this and that, and Rosie Perez, oh, you made us look so weak.
So fucking weak. See, that's what I'm saying too, and you can tell they've had a long history where it's like, man, you know what I'm saying? You used to be one of the baddest motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They got they got that going on between them dynamic where she kind of, of course he's fucking on her, but she got some pull too because she's a police officer, obviously, you know what I mean? But she's also a dirty cop, so she got a rep.
Yeah. Yep. And then we get right to, we always get these random, like, heartfelt, scenes between Franco and Seth Rogen. And literally,
I know. The BFFs.
Yep,
cozy bogey BFFs.
They got to mix those in. And it's funny. They're like, they got all the weed. It's like, man, we need to get on a train or something. And he was like, oh, I only got $30-something. And he was like, that won't get us to. And he was like, well, what if we took some of the weed and sold it? You think we could do that? He's like, oh, come on, man. That's what I do.
And this is the best though, man, because the next montage when they hit the high school.
And he's talking shit about him. He's like, look at Chachi dancing over there. He's like, who the fuck's Chachi? They don't know any of these fucking guys. And yeah, they're smoking with the teenagers. And he's like, all right, get a handful for however much. Who knows how much they got. But they got a nice little amount of money from those three guys. But man, they got caught by the little police liaison who was on site. James Franco goes to go get some food and get some slushies. And but the police liaison rolls up on Seth Rogen and puts him in cuffs, and he was like, oh, it's just weed. I thought it was decriminalized. And selling weed to my students is not decriminalized. It's funny. And Serge, yeah, one of the quotes, oh, big sexy with the glasses on his ID. And they got it all in there, the hit and run, because obviously Rosie Perez is a cop and she could put that out on him and his car, which they find out his name. I guess they don't know his plates or anything like that. But yeah, just it gets real weird for a second because she's about to arrest him. But then he's talking to her and he was like, I witnessed this and this. And she was like, wait, so you saw Ted Jones kill this person? Like, yeah. And it was a cop. And she was like, I think I know that bitch. And he was like, I will identify that bitch as they're driving. And then, but James Franco comes out with he comes out and pretty much gets hit by the car. I don't know what his plan was, but he pretty much gets hit by the car because the lady's looking back and talking to Seth Rogen as she's driving. Slushy all over the car. And then we get a big chase scene, and I have that loaded up for us.
Let's check it out.
Here we go. So in the movie theater, we were like, all right, we're going to smoke every time they smoke. So literally we're smoking the entire movie pretty much. And
wow.
I remember just dying so hard at this part because you think he's really going to kick the window out, and then he just cracks a hole with his foot, and then he's just driving with his foot out of the car for a minute or two.
I didn't recognize that street. I'm pretty sure that was Vermont, which I live block east of it.
Okay.
On the south of downtown, more closer to south.
So when they shoot
South LA.
So how does that work when they shoot a scene like that? They just shut down the street?
They shut down the street for that. Something like that for sure. They shut down the street.
Because
they had their own cars, their own fake cars and stuff.
Yeah, they're going to be driving. To make it look like traffic and stuff.
Because that's a wide street.
Because the way that they shot it, man, they're just right in traffic. I'm assuming it's stunt drivers who are around because they actually do hit one of the cars, but the guy doesn't freak out or create a big accident or anything. But that's what is it stunt drivers if they're anywhere close to the action going on?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, okay. Stunt drivers. Even if you drive a car 10 feet, it's not even that's considered a stunt. let alone what they're doing there. You know, it looks like they're driving fast. They're not really driving fast. They're driving kind of slowish.
I think, is
But
it just me,
I
or was it sped up to maybe like 2 or 3 times? Like,
Yeah, it's sped
like,
up. Typically, it's sped up as far as I know.
okay, yeah,
Sped up.
they're driving at one
It's
speed,
shot
but they
slow.
do it to 2 or 3 times because a couple times it looks like they're cutting so fast. It's like, man, there's no way that they're being
I
around
did,
like that.
Yeah.
So we have the whole car chase and everything, and then Dale's got to get on the phone and tell his girl about all the drama going on, and that really that he's gonna fix everything. You can't leave yet, and yeah, we're gonna try to fix everything and just stay there, pretty much. And she's pissed off at him. She hates him.
and hey, shout out! I want to shout out Heart to Star Cam right now. I don't know if he popped in and watched it because he was texting me right now, but he was like, "How you like the first triple digits day out here in the back?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not liking it. You know, like I would describe it as sweaty.
And there he goes, right into the Matrix.
What? He just dipped down. I thought he just dipped out his body, but so his feed went off.
So right after,
No.
yeah, Seth Rogen gets really pissed at James Franco, and like a lot of the, cats come out of the bag, like his real feelings, towards him, and pretty much everything comes out where it was like, I'm a better friend than you, and he was like, well, when I said I was your friend, you didn't even say anything. And he was like, yeah, it's because we aren't friends, and yeah, Franco got so fucking pissed at
You
that.
playing that clip?
No, I didn't have, I wasn't able to get that.
That
one.
was funny.
But yeah, it was a crazy scene. They're going back and forth. It's a heated exchange, and then okay, that's how you feel, bro. And what did he say? Yeah, you can't put Pandora back in the box. And he even said it at the end, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man. That sounded even bad coming out of my mouth." And he was like, "You know what?" He throws the change out and get yourself a meal and supersize it, you bitch. And then they both go their separate ways. And then they're both like crying. James Franco's like eating a burrito, like on a swing set or something, just like crying his eyes out. And then Dale calls up Angie, and he's like crying. Do you remember that scene at all?
Dale Denton.
Seth Rogen.
Yeah, I do. I do remember that scene. Not really specifically, but I do remember him crying, and she's kind of consoling him. She kind of was falling for it or comforting him or something. Or
It's like, I miss you so much, and I'm
Yeah.
to figure out how to make this work. And she's like crying on the other end. I love you so much. And she was like, I just want to marry you. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
You know what? You might be kind of stupid to take me back. I don't know what he thought. He even says it like on there when she's like, I'm way more mature than you. I had lost my virginity at 14. She's
Yeah.
like, how many girls have you even had sex with? He was like, it's like 2.5. And she's like, 2.5? What do you mean? Was the half your hand? And yeah, he doesn't even make sense. He was like, yeah, you know what? He was like, I don't remember what it was. Maybe I just stuck my balls in or something. I just remember at the time I couldn't give myself a point for this.
Shoehorned him then. A little shoehorn action going on.
Well, pretty much Dale is, to me, just what he kind of seems like to me, just one of those 25-year-old, like super square-ish, nerd guys who probably had sex with one girl, maybe in college somewhere. And then this is like his second, like, girl that he's had sex with, and maybe even first girlfriend.
Wow.
That's what I get out of it.
That's lower than low.
Because look at the way he's acting, with everything.
A bit simpish, you're saying?
Yeah, well, definitely.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
he was calling her. I mean, he's more upset about James Franco than he really is about her, because that's why he's like crying. But he like feels so alone, and I need you, Angie. He doesn't want to be alone enough to marry her or anything, but yeah, definitely.
He's not that much of a simp.
No,
I guess he was a simp.
he came back to life right there when she said that. And Peacock said Dale looked 35 at least. For sure, he looks super old. Let's see. How old would he have been really in?
Well, he's 25, playing 25.
Yeah, so he was born in 82. So what would he have been? He would have been
23, 24,
26. So he was playing his age, even though he may just look older, but yeah. But
he does.
So James Franco, he had to go check on his bubby, his grandma, is what I'm assuming. And she's at the retirement home, and he had to go change her clocks. But while he's there, Budlowski and Matheson show up. and there's a big scrum. James Franco grabs a coffee pot and hits Matheson with it and totally fucks him up. But then they take him, they kidnap him, they throw him in a van, and then they're gone. So the story just keeps escalating more and more. And then you finally see them go to the hideout or whatever that Red was talking about. Ted's got this ultimate huge hideout. And it ends up being in the same place where the initial scene happened, in the underground bunker. And
Yeah, they go deep underground again.
yeah, they take him in.
40 years later?
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know if you noticed it, but it's like the room that they throw him into was like, in the beginning, it was the room where he was smoking weed. And they were like observing him. I don't know if you caught that or not.
No, you're right. I missed that.
Yeah. The room's all jacked up and everything. And it's all kind of like burnt and all that. But yeah, they take him down. They take him down through all the weed.
Welcome back, Bogey.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry, Matrix living.
They walk through the big bunker and they're all the weed, and James Franco's reading like all the different weed, the weed strains out and all that.
And at the time, these are some fire strains of the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. OG Kush and Purple Skunk. I can't remember what some of the other ones were, but he was super excited at the end.
Didn't they even have Granddaddy Purple in there?
Oh yeah, I think they did.
You know what I'm saying?
Those are real strains.
Yeah, but and this is what's cool because I'm in my early 20s at the time when this movie comes out, and these are things that we're smoking on. I was like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like they're knowing. Yep. You feel me? Like okay, you know what I mean?
And so yeah, they throw him in the room, and then you see it cuts back to Dale, who goes back to Red's house, and Red. I don't even know. He doesn't even know what's going on necessarily. It looks like he's sleeping, and Dale comes in on him. He's in the bathroom.
He's in the tub, right?
He's in the tub. He's listening to the Crossroads. He's got like top ramen noodles and what's it called, and wine coolers like right there on the bathroom toilet.
He basically thinks he's about to die. This is his last meal, essentially.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is that like he's drinking the wine coolers, and with them gunshots, of course, that's just gonna make you bleed out faster. I'm sure, you know what I mean. So he's just dying, you know what I mean. But he's fighting, man.
He was doing rather well considering the 2 shots, though.
Yeah.
You think his body was getting cold? He'd be shaking in his boots and stuff, but he was still kind of quite mobile.
Fight too. They fucked him up during the fight. Hit him with the bong mitzvah. Broke the glass.
That too.
Threw him head first into the wall. The crazy hole.
Yeah. And you know what that's a montage? You know what that's an homage to?
The Energizer Bunny.
When they put his head in the wall.
Oh, that one. Hold on. Wait.
Come on.
You're right. There was something. Hold on a second.
Come on. I better be right when I say this too. I'm gonna be funny if I.
There's something there. Hold on.
It's 16 candles.
Oh.
Yeah.
Remember 16 candles? The dude teleporting. He's like, yeah. He's so hyped.
Anthony Michael Hall, the little blonde straight guy, right?
Wow. He smashed his head into the wall. He's just stuck.
Yeah. How'd you remember that one? I remember seeing that in the theater when I was a kid.
Because I remember dying when I first saw that movie. Because obviously when I saw it, it was already like on VHS.
Yeah, the big muscle guy picked him up, right?
Yeah.
There's 2 guys. There's 2 guys, right?
Yep. Pulled him up out of that thing.
You're right. That's it. The 2 guys, they lift him up and they shoved him. And then he said, "Please be gentle," or something. He said something before they shoved him into the wall. And then he ended up underneath the glass coffee table.
Yeah.
He was stuck in there after the party was over. Then the
guy, right.
Yeah,
I'm right about that one, but yeah, you remember it too, so for sure.
Well, yeah, it was those 2 big muscle dudes. They were drinking not bongs, but what's those? They were guzzling beers or something, weren't they?
Yeah, beer bongs.
Yeah, beer bongs.
Beer bong, yeah.
I think, and they shoved them. Anyway, he ended up underneath the glass coffee table.
And I think this is a good time to wrap up Act 2 because we got just a handful of final scenes.
Tune in next time for Act 3. Will our heroes make it? Stay tuned.
We shall see. Go subscribe to
Thank you, Bogey.
Go subscribe to the podcast, Silver Screen Breakdowns, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Silver Screen Breakdown. And remind them, Nelson, where to find you at and everything you got going on.
Yes, you find me on Instagram, Nelson Tynes, search window. And then on YouTube, I have demo reels and 2 montages, films, and then on commercials before I got doing films. On YouTube, search the same name, Nelson Tynes. You'll find me there too. And Facebook if you want, but I don't go over there that too much yet. But hey, things may change. Thank you.
We'll see you for Act 3. Peace out.
Silver screen, motion picture shit. This ain't a dream, we really live this shit. Don't intervene, yo, we with this shit. That's where the most high, we the most lit.